Hello everyone, welcome back to another Coffee with Christian. Today I am drinking an iced mocha latte and it is delicious. Also, I got a new plant. His name is Conan. He's adorable and I love him so much. So today I have a story for all of you. And yes, it is a true story. It was not clickbait. You heard it right. I almost cut my finger off. So let me give you a little backstory and then we'll jump into the actual part where I almost cut my finger off. My family, we prank each other a lot. We always jump out and scare each other. We do all sorts of crazy stuff. One day, my mom decided it would be hilarious if she faked like she cut her finger off. She had, I think it was ketchup all over her fingers and a bloody drill or something. She was doing a project in the garage. I'm not sure what she was doing. She made it like she could cut her finger really bad and she's like, oh my gosh, guys, come here, help. And we were all like, ah. But long story short, she didn't really cut her finger off. And we're like, oh, ha, funny prank, you got us. Well, that evening, I decided that I wanted to eat some kiwi. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my kiwi, I'm gonna cut it up and eat it, and life's gonna be great. Ooh, I'm gonna be wired tonight. We at church tonight, and I can already feel myself tingling. Anyways, so I was like, all right, let me get the kiwi. So I put the kiwi on the little cutting board thing, and I was like, ooh, I need to cut this, but I don't think I should use like a metal butter knife. That won't be strong enough to cut through the kiwi. And so I used my big brain and was like, let's get the biggest butcher knife I can find. That'll definitely cut through. Well, boy, let me tell you, that thing did cut through. Cut through my dang hand. So I grabbed my butcher knife. Basically, that's what it was, a small butcher knife. And I had my kiwi on the thingy-majig. And as I was going to cut it, the kiwi rolled. When I touched it with a knife, it rolled out and I went slice right through my finger. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a scar on my fingertip. You can't tell on camera, but I still have a scar and it runs from right here down to here. So I realized what happened. I said, oh shoot. And my finger, the skin was flapping off. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, ah! So I freak out. I didn't freak out. I didn't cry or anything. I was just shook that I freaking almost cut the tip of my finger off. So I was like, Mom. And so she comes running in. She was like, oh, Christian, that's a good one. Good prank, but you can't fool me because that was the same day she pulled the knife prank. So she thought I was trying to get her back, but I was actually bleeding out and she was laughing at me. So I was like, Mom, my finger is hanging off. And she was like, oh, shoot. So she called my dad in, he ran in, he was like, okay, everybody calm down, we'll figure this out. And so I'm trying not to pass out. I'm like, ooh, a lot of blood, fingers flopping around. So he grabs some paper towel and he wraps it around my finger and he tells me to hold it so, we'll try to stop the bleeding. So I'm over here holding a bloody paper towel and it stings so bad. Ugh, and putting pressure on makes it hurt even worse. So I'm just over here okay, so now what? And it's I want to say 9 o'clock at night. We're all in our PJs and stuff. So Dad's like, all right, I'm gonna go get dressed. You can just stay in your PJs. We're going to the emergency room. I was like, okay. So he goes off, gets changed really fast, grabs the keys. We jump in the car. I'm sitting there the whole ride just bleeding out, holding my finger. Panicking on the inside. I didn't cry one bit though. I am so proud of myself. It just stung. I was just kind of this is kind of gross. I don't really enjoy this, but I'm all right. I was mostly worried that we'd have to take the tip of my finger off because I've heard that people do that sometimes. If you just cut the top, they just clip the whole top of your finger off. I was like, I want my finger. So we're skirting to the hospital and we park, we get out of the car, we run in. My dad's like, yo, my daughter sliced her finger pretty good. The lady asked me on a scale of 1 to 10 how bad it hurts, and I'm not gonna say 3, you know what I'm saying? They'll never see me in time. I remembered this skit from Brian Regan. If y'all don't know who Brian Regan is, he's hilarious. But there's a skit about going to the hospital, they ask you how your pain is, and he's like, I don't want to say 1 because they'll never see me. I don't want to say 10 because that's crazy. So he says 8, and which gets him to the doctor faster. So I was like, 8. I mean, it probably wasn't an 8. It was a 6 probably. But I was like, about an 8. And so she writes us in and we go sit down in like the waiting room. Me and my dad were laughing about the say 8 thing. I had to burp at least once. Would it be my video if I didn't burp? But yeah, so we're sitting in the waiting room. So we wait for like 20 minutes, 10, 20 minutes. Then they call me back and I'm over here like with my little paper towel soaked in blood. They sit me on a gurney. I'm like, am I dying? People come in, they're like, you all right? I'm like, I mean, my finger's hanging off, but like, yeah, I'm fine. The worst part happens. The nurse lady had to clean my wound. So she very gently rips my little thingy off, my little paper towels off. She like grabs my wrist, shoves it down into the sink, turns the water on and goes, ugh, on my open wound. That was when I was gonna cry. Not the actual cutting of the finger, but her freaking rubbing all over the wound. That, woo, I for real felt sick when she was doing that. She's like rubbing all over. I was like, oh, please stop. So after that agonizing minute passed, I got back on the gurney and the doctor dude was like, yo, you can get stitches, but it's not too severe. You don't have to have stitches. So what we can do is get you like a wrap and a splint. That way it'll like, you know, keep the skin together and it'll grow back. I was like, well, no, I don't want stitches. Like, give me the splint thing. I don't know if I would have had a lesser scar if I got stitches though. But hey, I did what I did and it's fine. I had to wear it for like, I think a few weeks, maybe like 2 weeks, maybe. But yeah, I chose to not get stitches because after that whole nurse washing my hand experience, I did not want to get traumatized further with them poking me in the finger multiple times. By that point, I was just wanting to go home and go to bed. I did not want them touching my finger anymore. So we get the splint thing, we go home. Everybody at home is like, do you still have your finger? I was like, yes, I do. Ta-da! And I showed them like my bandage and stuff. They're like, ha, gnarly. And I was like, yeah, I'm tired. So we all go to bed. Well, we try to go to bed. We're all like shaken up. Everyone was still a bit frazzled, but we eventually went to bed. The next day at like church, everybody's like, oh my God, your finger. And I was like, yeah, I like almost cut it off. They're like, oh, what? And I was like, yeah. After I got my little splint thingy off, I saw the scar and I was like, oh, whoa. And so then I was like showing everybody my scar. I was like, check it out. And they were like, ow. And I was like, yeah, it hurt. And everybody's like, well, that's cool, I guess. And I was like, yeah. And so that is the story of how I almost lost the tip of my finger. But yeah, that was like low-key traumatic for me, but it was also really kind of fun in a way. I have a fun story to tell now. And like, if I lost the tip of my finger, it wouldn't have been that bad. Like, it's just the tip, you know? But luckily, that didn't happen. I hope you guys enjoyed my traumatic experience. I hope it made you laugh, if anything. I hope you learned a lesson. Be very careful when cutting your kiwis. Do not grab the big butcher knife. But if you do grab the big butcher knife, make sure you hold the kiwi firmly, because that sucker will roll. So yeah, I hope you guys like my story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Whoosh.